Hey everybody, we are back with episode 214 of Movies You Missed podcast. Welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed last week's episode going into the View Askew universe and learned a little bit of something about Kevin Smith and the movies that we both enjoy. Today's going to be a little bit different, but comedy is also in the mix today with action comedy films. Two movies that V and I have both picked, one from the early 90s and one from the mid-2000s. Looking forward to getting into both of these, but before we do that, V, what's cracking? How are you today?
Well, it's my birthday, so I'm great.
Yes, it is. Happy birthday to V. Another year older than me. I'm still younger than you, and now you are over 40 by at least a year, and I'm coming up on that in the next 6 months, which is horseshit, but hey, that's all good. Happy birthday, V. Everybody wish V a happy birthday, and make sure to remind V that V is older than me.
I don't want to do this kind of episode again.
I know, right? We haven't even really done a birthday episode for me, although I think we did drop an episode on Christmas Eve last year, but it's okay. It's all good.
Every year we do a birthday episode for you because every year we do Christmas movies around your birthday.
That's true, because my birthday is Christmas Eve, in case people forgot. I don't know if you all have full-time jobs and can't keep things straight, but it is my birthday is Christmas Eve. We will deal with that when Christmas Eve comes. June 10th is V's birthday. And this is going to be a fun episode. Like I said, action comedies coming in full swing, full explosions. Can't wait to get into it. Before we do that, though, welcome to our podcast, Movies You Missed podcast. We are just beyond a 4-year anniversary here, and we discuss movies that we feel have fallen under the radar, movies that have been forgotten, that we think anyway. And we love revisiting those movies. And these two movies today, I think more so my pick than yours, are certainly underrated action comedies.
I totally agree. I think mine's a little bit more on the forgotten side, which is unfortunate. But yours, after watching it, I agree. It's super underrated.
Very much so. I think it's time to kick the tires and light the fires on this action comedy episode. Even though that is a line from Independence Day, and we did that one many years ago. This is going to be a early 2000s movie pick of V's, and I'll let V take it away from here.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, mine is from, well, it's about halfway between now and the year 2000, because mine came out in 2015.
I thought it was 2007. I don't know why.
No, it was only 10 years ago, and
all right.
It's the second Paul Feig movie I've picked on this podcast, the first one being The Heat, starring the star of my film, because he loves working with her, and I'm talking about the Melissa McCarthy-led James Bond parody movie called Spy, which you've seen before and you already like.
I had seen before, yes.
Which is great, because for my birthday, I appreciate that you don't hate my movie.
Well, the discussion hasn't happened yet.
No, that happened. It's done.
Okay. Moving on.
Not only does Spy star Melissa McCarthy, it also stars a handful of wonderful character actors who you will all recognize, and major actors, including Jude Law. Because we open up at this beautiful mansion, and Jude Law is in a gorgeous tux, and he has someone in his ear. And very quickly, the audience realizes that Jude Law is playing this man named Bradley Fine, who is an American agent for the CIA, and Melissa McCarthy is his handler back in D.C. on the computer in his ear. Her name is Susan Cooper, and she helps him out while he's doing his missions. Now, he's on a mission to get this guy named Boyanov, who is trying to sell a nuclear weapon. Bradley Fine corners the man, but unfortunately sneezes because of some allergies and accidentally shoots the guy in the head.
Yeah, that was good.
And you can tell very quickly that Susan Cooper is a pretty meek person. She's rather insecure. She doesn't have a lot of confidence, and she's a bit in love with Bradley Fine, which it's Jude Law in a tux. I can see that. He's not exactly my type, but a lot of people love him, especially in the movies we've previously picked, including The Holiday, which you introduced me to, thank God.
Yeah.
And Gattaca.
Yeah, Gattaca.
And at one point during the mission, Bradley is saying how appreciative he is of her, and when he gets back, he's going to kiss her, and that's when Susan Cooper says, "I would accept that with an open mouth." So unfortunately, the mission has become a bit of a disaster now that Boyanov is dead, and this nuke is out in the world, and they have no idea where. And so they regroup back in D.C., and Bradley Fine realizes that Boyanov's daughter, Raina, played by Rose Byrne, is going to take over their business and probably go about selling this nuclear weapon. So he decides to take it upon himself and go after her. He infiltrates her mansion, but unfortunately she catches him and shoots him in the face. All while Susan Cooper is watching back in D.C., which devastates her. And while this is happening, Raina actually tells them over the comms that she knows all of the CIA agents and their identities, so they can't come after her. Now the CIA is in a panic, and the deputy director, Elaine, played by Allison Janney, who I just talked about in the way back, but I also love her in The Duff and the show Mom with Anna Faris, who is starring in the new Scary Movie right now.
Mm-hmm.
But Allison Janney's great in this movie. I love her so much. I love her in everything that I've ever seen her in, honestly.
Pretty much, yeah. I never did see Mom, but I heard that was a good sitcom.
I've seen a bunch of clips on YouTube, and every time I do, they're hilarious. So.
Oh, nice.
And she's telling all of her agents that no, nobody can go after Raina, even though she's killed one of our own, even though she's got a nuclear weapon, because she knows all of us. She knows our names, she knows our faces. We'll be seen in a second, and our cover will be blown, and that'll make everything so much worse. So you can't. And this is where we meet Rick Ford, played by Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Which that role was written specifically for him.
Oh, sweet. He was so good.
So good. We'll talk about him a little bit more in a little bit because he has so many great lines and he's so ridiculous in this movie. And he plays off of these spy tropes about how beat up and damaged somebody can be in a spy movie and then walk away. It's hilarious. Yeah. And Rick Ford is saying, no, you can send me in. Just put me into the face-off machine and it'll be okay. And Allison Janney's like, what the hell are you talking about? And it turns out Rick Ford is just pretty stupid and the other agents convinced him they had a face-off machine at the CIA.
Yeah,
so
that was good.
That's the kind of character that Rick Ford is. And this is when Susan Cooper stands up and says, I'll do it. I will go track Raina. I will go track this prospective buyer. And let me do this for fine. Of course, at first everybody laughs at her, but she's able to convince Deputy Director Elaine that she can in fact do this. It's just a reconnaissance job. It's just following someone. There won't be any action. It'll be okay. And it turns out that Susan Cooper originally went through CIA agent training. She's a full-fledged agent. She's just been behind the desk for 10 years. And she's actually pretty capable. And so this is where Elaine says, okay, fine, I'll send you out. Susan Cooper, of course, is very excited, and so is her very good friend and coworker, Nancy, played by Miranda Hart, who is a great British comedian. We've talked about her briefly in the movie Emma, your pick, a couple months ago.
Yep.
She plays Miss Bates.
Yeah.
Nancy and Susan are best friends, and they get really excited about Susan finally going out into the field. And this is where we get this great montage of them going into the basement and seeing all the amazing spy toys. There's even an Aston Martin down there. There's all these cool bulletproof things, and they're like, yeah, okay, let's go. What am I gonna get? What's my alias gonna be? And of course, it's awful. The tools she's given, that whole scene is absolutely hysterical. The guy she's talking to is actually an actor you will recognize from The Heat.
Oh, yes.
That's Michael McDonald, and he's basically Q in this movie, and so he's showing Susan Cooper all the different unpleasant gadgets that she will be getting. And at one point she says, have I done something to you to upset you? And this is actually a nod back to The Heat, because Michael McDonald was a bad guy in The Heat and Melissa McCarthy was a cop, and she threatens to shoot his dick off in the interrogation room.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Oh, God, that's a great scene in The Heat. Anyway, that's kind of a nod back to them working together previously in their previous characters, which is awesome. So now she's completely outfitted. She's got an alias. She says she looks like someone's homophobic aunt, and I can't help but agree with her on that statement.
Yeah, that was good.
Completely awful. But now she's off to Europe, and she's starting to track Raina Boyanov and all these other bad guys. So Susan gets to Europe and starts trying to find Raina, and she actually runs into a couple of other bad guys. There's some great action, and I like the development of this because she slowly but surely starts to get into more and more fights, more and more times that she needs to stand up for herself. And I like that it's a slow build up into her remembering that she's an agent, remembering that she's capable.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also where she runs into Rick Ford, because even though he's gotten really pissed that Susan Cooper was sent out to the field and he wasn't, he actually quit the CIA, well, he threatened to, and now he's basically a rogue agent doing it on his own. And he thinks it's so ridiculous that Susan Cooper's out there. And he keeps trying to get in on the case, and of course it's him almost ruining the case every time, but every scene with the two of them in it is so awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
And this is actually one of the audio clips that I wanted to share. When they're in a hotel room together, and he's explaining to her all of the crazy and incredible things that he's had to do to survive being a spy.
Why do you even care what I do?
You really think you're ready for the field? I once used defibrillators on myself. I put shards of glass on my fucking eye. I've jumped from a high-rise building using only a raincoat as a parachute and broke both legs upon landing. And I still had to pretend I was in a fucking Cirque du Soleil show. I've swallowed enough microchips and shit them back out again to make a computer. This arm has been ripped off completely and reattached with this fucking arm.
I don't know that that's possible. I mean, medically.
During the threat of an assassination attempt, I appeared convincingly in front of Congress as Barack Obama.
In blackface? That's not appropriate.
And at one point while in Paris, she actually does finally find Raina. And the good thing is that she notices someone putting something into her drink. And so Susan walks over to Raina and says, hey, you know what? Us girls got to stick together. I think someone just put something in your drink. I wanted to tell you. And she's like, okay. And so she brings Susan Cooper out back and has her identify the man who put something in Raina's drink. And then some violence occurs, which is actually kind of an awesome scene.
Yeah.
And at that point, Raina says, you know what? I want you to come with me. Let's hang out for a little while and we'll go on my private jet to do it. One thing leads to another, and there's actually an assassination attempt on the plane. And this is where Susan Cooper saves Raina's life yet again. And also when Susan finally admits that Raina's father actually hired her as a bodyguard to protect Raina. And this is how she ingratiates herself into Raina's organization, because she still needs to find that nuke that Raina's trying to sell. And so for the rest of the movie, Susan Cooper is becoming the spy that she was always trained to be, trying to keep herself alive while she's in the proximity of Raina and all of her goons, and also trying to figure out exactly what's going on because Raina knows a whole lot of information that she shouldn't. And there are other CIA agents that she encounters, including a woman named Karen Walker, which was the same name in the show Will and Grace, which is hilarious. But Morena Baccarin plays Karen Walker.
Yeah.
She's really hot, right?
So,
She plays a high-end prostitute in the show Firefly, and therefore the movie Serenity that I am introducing you to in just a couple weeks. It's my dad's pick for Father's Day. So hopefully that'll entice you to be more excited about that show and therefore that movie.
I've always wanted to see the movie. I just never watched the show. She was in one of my favorite How I Met Your Mother episodes. It's the shining comedic moment for Allison Hannigan in, I think, the entire series of How I Met Your Mother. Very early episode, and then she was also in the Deadpool movies.
She was also in the Deadpool movies. She's great. She was in the show Gotham, too, and that's where she met her husband, which is cool. In the show Firefly, and therefore Serenity, playing a high-end prostitute. When I was explaining it to you, the only thing I could think of is Easy A high-end stripper for governors or athletes. Which she is in the show, which is awesome.
All right, there you go.
Yes, I really hope you like that. I know my dad's really excited to introduce that movie to you, and I know your wife is too, since she's a big fan of the show.
Sweet.
So yes, they're all very capable, very hot spies, and then we have Melissa McCarthy playing someone who is a big cat lady who should have a shirt that says, "I've never felt the touch of a man" on it. Which is another line that she shares in the movie. I've loved this movie ever since it came out. I saw it in theaters. I laughed my ass off the whole entire time. I really like when Paul Feig and Melissa McCarthy pair together. She and Rose Byrne have worked together before because they were both in Bridesmaids. Rose Byrne was also in Sunshine, which you introduced me to a couple months ago. Insidious, which I know you've seen. I haven't.
I love the first two Insidious movies big time, yeah.
Those are the two she's in.
They are.
She also plays Seth Rogen's wife in the movie Neighbors.
Yeah, that's a Hollywood pair that probably would never happen.
No, not at all. Rose Byrne is actually married to Bonnie Cannavale, who's in this movie as Sergio De Luca, the guy trying to buy the bomb. They were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. She was cast, and she helped him get that role.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Boy, nepotism runs deep in Hollywood, doesn't it?
100%. It's all about who you know, not what you can do.
I know it absolutely does. Anywhere, everywhere, not just Hollywood.
Everywhere, unfortunately. But predominantly Hollywood, too. More so than...
Yes.
I mean, at least as a doctor, you need to have the skills in order to be hired, even though you know people, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Hollywood, there is no skills test, unfortunately.
Not really.
So not only does Susan Cooper have the help of the CIA and her friend Nancy and all these other people, including, well, trying to be Rick Ford, even though he's more of a hindrance than a help, of course, we also have Aldo, who is one of my favorite characters in the entire movie, if not my favorite. He's played by Peter Serafinowicz. He's the Italian contact who picks her up and keeps trying to make out with her and touch her boobs.
Yes. Yeah, he's in Shaun of the Dead, too.
He's in Shaun of the Dead as the competent, mature roommate. He's
Yes.
also the guard in Guardians of the Galaxy who
Oh, yeah.
works with John C. Reilly and says that
Right.
the Guardians are a bunch of a-holes. It's a very classic line. I believe
Yeah.
it's even in the trailer. And I love Peter Serafinowicz. I always thought he was really hot too. But he's actually
He's an
also
odd-looking dude, but he's great.
I think he's hot.
You like odd-looking dudes.
I do. I don't like pretty boys. That's true.
No.
He was also in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, yeah? Was he in Rogue One?
No, he
No, okay.
is the voice of
Oh.
Darth Maul in
Oh.
Episode 1.
Oh, no way.
So Ray Park
Wow.
plays the physical embodiment of him on screen,
Yeah.
but Peter Serafinowicz dubbed all of the lines, and he's the
Wow.
voice of Darth Maul because he has such a great, menacing, deep voice. He's perfect for
Oh,
it, which I thought
very
was really
cool.
cool. Yeah, so that's Peter
I did not know that
Serafinowicz.
at all.
Yeah, he's great, and I'm a big fan of him. Even though he hasn't appeared in too much, still like it when he pops up. So that is Spy, a great parody of the James Bond franchise. There's even an intro song to the movie, just like James Bond movies. I love
Yeah.
that. Every time I watch it, I pick up more and more nods to the James Bond franchise, which is a lot of fun. And I think Melissa McCarthy carries this really well. And I think this is a perfect example of how casting was done right for a spy movie versus Argyle that came out a couple years ago,
Oh,
where
yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard was completely miscast in that role. I didn't think
I
she
remember
could carry
liking
it at all.
Argyle.
I
don't
love
remember
Argyle.
much of it. Yeah, I do remember the movie was very entertaining, but I don't know if it was because of her.
No, it's not because of her, because Sam Rockwell's in it, and so is Henry Cavill and a bunch of other
Yes.
great people, including
Right.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Catherine O'Hara's in that movie too, actually.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a stacked cast.
It
as you like
was
to
Bryan
say.
Cranston, and so I really like Argyle, even though I know it's a very divisive movie. But I, for the whole time, think that she is completely miscast as the lead. Bryce Dallas Howard is, and
All
that
right.
is just the wrong fit. Versus this worked really well for Melissa McCarthy and this character.
Oh yeah, sure.
And so I've seen this movie at least 10 times since it was released 10 years ago.
Oh, damn.
I love it. It's hilarious. Most of my family does too. And I think it's done really well. I think the satirical aspect of it is expertly done, and I don't think it's so ridiculous that it gets stupid or campy. Instead, it's just really funny. It's got a lot of heart. I love that you can root for someone who is usually looked down upon, and I was really happy to pick it today. It fits into my favorite genre of all time, which is action comedies. The other one I was thinking about picking was The Fall Guy, but it's too recent, so for a little bit.
Well, we're gonna have to flip a coin for that one.
I agree. And as many of you know, I love action comedies. I have talked about that over the last 4 years here, and we've done a lot of them, and that's why, at least me, picking them, because I'm such a fan. I mean, True Lies is another one that is right up there. And so I hope you really enjoyed Spy. I know you'd seen it before, because I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I don't know how much you like it or how many times you've seen it, so I'm excited to hear about it.
This was my second time seeing Spy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, watched it right around the time that Amy moved in. So about 10 years ago, I think she had told me about it. And I just hadn't, for whatever reason, I'd never got around to it. I like Bridesmaids. I like Paul Feig, especially Bridesmaids, and now the latest venture of his, The Housemaid. And I like a lot of Paul Feig's stuff. The Heat I remember enjoying as well, so I like where he goes with a lot of his comedy. This second time around was a very enjoyable watch. I will say though, towards the end, I think it's like the final 15 minutes when they all start flying helicopters was just a little bit ridiculous for me.
Yes.
And I really am over this whole thing in movies, and not just this movie, every movie that this happens in, where there's a helicopter. Well, there's two helicopters, and the people that are flying each helicopter are communicating with each other, but not wearing headphones and a fucking microphone.
Yes.
They're just yelling at each other over a void of space, and they can still hear each other. It irritates me. I know it's a movie. It's just not, there's no way that they can hear each other.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
that's my massive pet peeve with the end of Spy.
Totally fair.
Other than that, the movie is a blast. It's Miranda Hart, is that her name? The
Yes.
British, yeah. She's great. The whole stuff with 50 Cent was very entertaining. I forgot that she was in this movie, so seeing her show up again was great. I liked the use of her and how she shows up. Susan is trying to keep Rose Byrne's character from getting killed, and then the funny thing is too is like she's calling out all the tropes. Like, look at this guy. He's standing weird. He's probably got a gun in his pants. That all that kind of shit's great. Jason Statham, comedy gold. Like, he needs to do more comedy.
He does.
Like, absolutely.
He does.
We've got another Statham movie coming out probably the beginning of next year, because that's how every year starts with a Jason Statham movie coming out, called Mutiny, and he's doing exactly the same shit he did in Beekeeper and yada yada. If Paul Feig could write Jason Statham an action comedy, I'm all in. That would be fantastic. I would love if that were to happen. Love watching Rose Byrne anytime I can. I am a massive Rose Byrne fan. Melissa McCarthy, I started to get a little fatigued on her because she was showing up in so much. Kind of like Seth Rogen, kind of like everybody that's on Pedro Pascal. Everybody that's hot, they just keep showing up and keep showing up and keep showing up. And there were a couple of movies that Melissa McCarthy did that were so terrible. And
yeah.
One of them was that identity theft movie with Jason Bateman. I hated that movie. Couldn't stand her in that movie at all, and that's probably her character, and she did her job, I guess. But this movie all around was a real good time, a real blast, if you will. And I love the scene where Susan's at dinner with Jude Law. What's Jude Law's name again in the movie?
Bradley Fine.
Yeah, when she's at dinner with him at that really nice restaurant, and he's dropping all these innuendos, and then he gives her that really shitty pendant, or whatever you want to call it, that
awful.
necklace, that cupcake thing. It was so awful. I don't remember what leads to it, but then he says, yeah, well, Jack in the Box was full, and she goes, aha! Like she like echo laughs, and it's just like that crack laugh. That was, I think, honestly, in a weird way, that might have been my favorite scene. It's so simple and so funny. But overall, it's enjoyable. You gifted me a whole box of movies like 2 years ago, I think, and Spy was one of them on Blu-ray, so I watched a physical copy of it. I'm glad I have a physical copy of it. I know Amy is a big fan, so if ever she's in the mood for it, I think she definitely likes this movie over Bridesmaids.
Me too.
Oh, okay. See, I like Bridesmaids over this one. But they are two completely different movies. But overall, I liked the second go-around with it. I would likely put it on in the future on a rainy day, or if I'm like, I just need something kind of dumb to laugh at. And I'm glad that we got to bring it to the podcast, because I didn't see it in theaters. I watched it at home, and I don't really know a lot of people that actually saw it, but I know it was pretty popular.
It was.
So I'm sure you'll get into that in a little bit. Because this was after Bridesmaids, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like 3 or 4 years, because I remember seeing Bridesmaids in Manhattan when I lived out there. And this clearly had not come out yet. So there that is.
Yeah, and after Gilmore Girls, that was the big breakout role for Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
So
that's right. Yeah, she was in the Gilmore Girls.
Mm-hmm. And her husband appears in both films. At one point, there's a scooter chase that Melissa McCarthy gets into, and her husband comes along and asks her for directions, because he always makes a cameo in her movies, which I think is actually
show up and
kind of adorable.
Yeah.
He's not a bad actor, so for 2 lines, he's completely reasonable.
He's in she has another one actually that Amy and I watched. We were on our way home from a vacation, and we shared. I had one ear pod in, and she had the other one. And I think it was the movie was called The Life of the Party, where she goes like back to college or something like that.
Huh.
That movie was pretty damn funny. I remember that one. But we watched it on a plane. I haven't seen it since. So
have you seen her in The Boss?
No, never saw The Boss.
With
isn't Bobby Cannavale in that one too?
And Kristen Bell's in it too, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
oh no, I never saw The Boss.
Yeah. I
or Boss, whichever one. Yeah, the title. I think that was around the McCarthy fatigue for me,
That's
and
fair.
I just was like, done.
Yeah.
Well,
and I like
again, nothing against her. She's great. I really enjoy watching her, and I'm not gonna not see a movie because she's in it. Although I didn't see The Boss because she was in it.
That's fine.
That's a little contradictory.
No, it's completely reasonable, and maybe you'll visit at some point in the future, which is fine. And I like that she and...
Was it good?
I remember thinking it was funny. I only saw it once,
Okay.
and it was right after it came out. So,
all right.
I do like that she and Rose Byrne reunited on this film. I think they have great chemistry. They have every scene I've ever seen them in, actually, including this movie.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the banter back and forth between them, where Rose Byrne is this very rich, very well-to-do, very gorgeous bad guy, right, with a whole organization under her. The way she talks shit about Susan Cooper and, let's get you out of that abortion of a dress and stuff like that. She's so awful. And Susan Cooper turns around and is like, well, you look like a slutty dolphin trainer.
Yeah, that was good.
There's great banter back and forth between them, and I like that women are doing that because so often you see it between men in these types of movies, and so I like that aspect of it, and I think Paul Feig wrote a really great script for female leads, and he's very good at it. After Bridesmaids, he also wrote and directed The Heat and the all-female cast of Ghostbusters, which I don't hate. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. No, I like that one. I actually, I wanted to mention that one because talking of Paul Feig, that one was a solid flick. I definitely enjoyed that one.
I mean, it is underrated. We could put it on the podcast at some point.
You can pick it if you'd like. It's not one that I would do, but
but you like
it
love
enough. Kate McKinnon. Yeah, I like it enough. I like Kate McKinnon in that
is
movie a lot.
Incredible. She's my favorite part of that whole movie. So.
Yeah.
Paul Feig has also directed beyond the movies he also wrote. He directed Bridesmaids and The Heat and Ghostbusters, but he's also directed A Simple Favor.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Last Christmas. That was the one with Henry Golding and Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I didn't know he directed that one.
He did.
I've heard good things about that one. I never saw it, though.
It was all right in terms of
Doesn't have
Christmas
to do with
movies.
CHD, like
It
congenital
does.
heart disease.
It does.
Yeah, that's why I should check it out.
It
Amy
is.
told me
Yeah,
about
maybe
it.
you and Amy can watch it for Christmas this year.
Yeah,
And like you
I
said,
love Emilia
he
Clarke.
also directed The Housemaid, which is an incredible film that everybody needs to watch.
Great movie. Sydney Sweeney's only good acting role as of now.
Completely agree. And the reason why he wrote, directed, and produced this movie is that he knew that no one would ever let him direct a real James Bond film.
Ah, all right.
So he has openly acknowledged that this is a parody on James Bond. So if any of you have seen James Bond movies or are a fan, you'll probably like this film because you'll get a lot of the references, which is great. And
yeah, big time.
Melissa McCarthy and Paul Feig are actually neighbors.
Oh, cool.
So she heard about this project over dinner and immediately asked for the script.
What are you having for dinner? Oh, we got prime rib and a script that I just wrote.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and Paul Feig was asked about this movie, about what inspired him to write it, why he did, and he said, I'm a big fan of spy movies, and I wanted to create a broad action comedy in that genre. The comedy comes from the characters. It's not a spoof or a satire. The danger and the action are genuine. He was really interested in becoming a stuntman originally.
Oh,
which is
really?
how he fell in love with Jason Statham and wrote that role for him, which is really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. He said the danger and action are genuine. We wanted it to have a tone of a spy film, but still be as funny as we could make it. I also wanted to create a relatable story in which we could all wonder, if I was recruited as a spy and sent on a mission, how might I react? Which is great.
Yeah.
He said, Melissa McCarthy is perfect for the role because despite being extraordinarily talented, she can still play the every person and elicit a profound sense of empathy and support.
Very cool.
Which is the perfect description of this movie. I hope that entices you all to watch it or rewatch it if you've seen it already. And make sure you stay past the end credits.
Yes, always. Always stay past the end credits. And if you're watching it at home, just fast forward to the last 3 minutes of credits, if there's ever a post-credit scene.
There is, and it is glorious.
And that's a suggestion for movies and theaters, too. Regardless of what the movie is, watch the fucking credits, because you might be a little surprised. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you go see the new Scary Movie, stay through the credits.
I always Google ahead of time whether or not I need to stay, because I'm not going to stay through the whole credits if there's nothing.
Oh, see, I don't do that. I like to be surprised.
But you're right. Spy did do really well. It had a $65 million budget.
Makes sense. So $45 million went to all these special effects and explosions and locations.
They filmed a lot in Hungary, actually, Budapest.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Budapest. Man, that place
is awesome.
They shoot a lot over there.
They do.
If it's not Atlanta or Toronto, it's fucking Budapest, apparently.
It really is. And one of Europe's biggest lakes in Hungary was the location for all of those nice mansions.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I love the opening sequence, especially when Jude Law's getting away on the boat. That whole thing is so awesome.
And on a $65 million budget in the U.S., it made $111 million, which is not bad.
No, not bad.
But worldwide, it made $236 million. It did very, very well, which is why I was kind of surprised, especially during the end credits when they're showing other aliases of hers, which are amazing. Why nobody proposed a sequel? Don't get me wrong. I don't think it necessarily needs one, but I'm shocked that somebody didn't suggest it given how well it did.
Well, maybe somebody did and Feig was like, I don't need to,
Which would be great.
Yeah, because there's no. Well, there is another Simple Favor movie that just came out like a year or two ago, but there's no Bridesmaid sequel. I know there's been talks about it, but what are the talks? Are the talks rumors that have just started online? Are the talks Feig and Kristen Wiig being like, let's do a sequel? So whenever I hear like, oh, there's in talks of sequels, like now all of a sudden everyone's like, they're talking about doing a sequel to Obsession. It's like, no, they're fucking not. Like, no, they're not, and they better not. Anyway, sorry.
No, I totally agree. Most of the time I hate sequels just like you do, so that's fair.
Yeah.
Especially in comedies. It's really hard to do that well.
It really is, yeah.
So instead we have the original, which is amazing. Watch Spy. It's on Hulu. Highly recommend it. Well, now it's time for John to introduce me to another film, this time an amazing action comedy, which a lot of people talked about in the 90s, but I never got around to seeing because my parents weren't interested in watching it, therefore they didn't show it to me.
Oh, that's too bad. I truthfully don't remember when I saw my pick for the first time. It might have been on TNT. It might have been on USA. It could have been like an Arnold Schwarzenegger marathon on, like I said, TNT or USA or something like that. And it was like Terminator, Terminator 2, and then this. And this movie, 1993. Which is a great year. I was a little one, so I definitely did not see this one in theaters. I really wish I would have. I own the Steelbook 4K of it. I got it about 2 years ago. I think I've watched it 4 or 5 times now. It's one of those movies similar to this. You can just put on and do something in the background, but I usually end up catching myself watching it from beginning to end, especially when Jack Slater's daughter shows up, because
of course.
we are big fans of hers, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So Jack Slater, if you don't know, this movie is about an actor named Jack Slater. This movie comes to us from 1993, written by Zach Penn, Adam Leff, David Arnott, and Shane Black, directed by John McTiernan. We've discussed McTiernan, I think, twice before. Die Hard and Die Hard with a Vengeance. Or no. Yeah, okay, it is Vengeance. Okay. That's number 2?
3. Number 2 sucks, and we don't ever talk about it. Speaking of terrible sequels.
All right. We do not talk of Die Hard 2. Never, never, ever. No. This movie is titled Last Action Hero. This movie stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, F. Murray Abraham, Charles Dance, Frank McRae, Tom Noonan, Robert Prosky, and Austin O'Brien. Also, Ian McKellen shows up, and so do a couple other people that have cameos in this movie.
There are so many people in this movie.
Yes, there is. If you have not seen Last Action Hero, buckle your freaking seatbelts. This movie is such a blast. No pun intended. Last Action Hero is about Arnold Schwarzenegger, who plays an action character named Jack Slater. He is about to drop his 4th movie, Jack Slater number 4. We also meet Danny, who's played by this young kid, Austin O'Brien. He was in a couple of movies in the 90s. I don't know what he's doing these days. I haven't really seen him too much. But Arnold Schwarzenegger, as we know, is a massive star in the 90s. Came up with Terminator and Pumping Iron. What was that one called?
Pumping Iron.
Pumping Iron. Never saw that documentary about his life as Mr. Universe, but I definitely saw Terminator and Terminator 2 and saw this movie along with so many other Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, which we can get into in a little bit. I think this is the 3rd Arnold Schwarzenegger movie I've done here, other than True Lies and Jingle All the Way. I think this is coming in at number 3.
We literally just had an Arnold Schwarzenegger dedicated episode where you picked another one.
Oh, yeah, and the 6th day. That's right.
Jesus
Fuck.
Christ.
Woo! I'm like Will Ferrell in that scene in Old School where I start talking about things and I completely black out and do not remember. That's why I listen to the podcast. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't remember saying half of that or any of it.
Great. I'm glad we at least have a recording of it then.
No, that's the whole thing, is like, this is one of those things where, and this is kind of massively off topic, but like if actors are watching themselves in a movie that they're in and they say they don't remember it, that's me when I'm recording. When I listen to it back, I'm like, what? Like, I really don't. That's why I actually genuinely laugh when something is funny that either I or you have said, V. Anyway, moving forward with Last Action Hero. In this universe of movies, as Arnold Schwarzenegger plays this character, Jack Slater, the 4th installment of the Jack Slater series is about to be dropped. And we meet Danny, played by Austin O'Brien. We meet him in a very rundown theater late at night, and he has really become good friends with Nick, who's played by Robert Prosky. If you don't know him by name, name. He is the guy in Mrs. Doubtfire that is drinking scotch at the restaurant before Pierce Brosnan starts to choke, and Robin Williams is trying to pitch to him this whole new idea for a kids' TV show. That's your little history lesson in Hollywood about Robert Prosky. And Nick has been the projectionist of this movie theater for decades. And he tells Danny that he's going to be checking the latest print of Jack Slater #4 for any blemishes or any problems with it, and if he would like to check it out, he's going to do it at midnight tonight. Danny is all about this whole thing because movies are Danny's life, very similar to mine and V, yourself. We just love going to the movies. And I, in a weird way, I wish I had an old projectionist that would have let me do this. Now, granted, when I was younger, my dad did suggest one time when we went to the movies to see if we could go into the projection room. So I asked a movie theater employee when we were living in Santa Clarita if I could go see the projector. This dude brought us up into the projection room and showed us all of the projectors that were playing movies. And this was at a time where there were certain movies that I still was not allowed to see, but he brought us right up to the projector that was showing the opening scene of the D-Day invasion of Saving Private Ryan.
Whoa, awesome.
Yeah, and I was standing up there watching the projector go on this 35mm reel and watching the D-Day invasion of Saving Private Ryan. And my dad was like, well, you're going to see it at some point, because I was not allowed to see Saving Private Ryan at that point in my life.
But you were allowed to watch Goodfellas.
I know, isn't that fucking weird?
Yes,
I know, it's so strange.
I will always bring that up
So
because
strange.
it's a weird and a double standard.
It absolutely is. Yeah. No, it's super strange how things progressed in my young childhood through adolescence about what I was allowed to see, listen to, and anyway. Now that Nick has this new copy of Jack Slater #4, Danny ends up going to the theater a little bit late. He's kind of gotten into a little bit of trouble with his mom because he's been skipping school, and she's a PTA member, and she's like, how come you are doing this to me? I work, and so you can go to school, not so you can go to the movies. And I don't know how many times I heard that back in the day. Now, granted, I never did skip school in elementary school to go to the movies or even in junior high. But in high school, senior ditch day, stuff like that. And I never really did get in trouble. But they got to set up a little bit of a backstory for this kid and why he's basically on his own going to the movies so late at night. So Danny ends up going to the movie theater to meet up with Nick. And it's just him and it's just Nick. And Nick has got on that old-timey like Hollywood movie theater usher costume on. He's got that little hat that kind of sits a little askew, View Universe, and he's got the button down things like gold buttons and red. It looks very velvet and whatnot. And Nick is like, hey, so before you get in there, you have to have a ticket. Do you have a ticket? And Danny's like, well, why would I have a ticket? And he goes, well, I'm going to tell you what, I have this really special ticket. Back in the day when I'm just going to let Nick explain this.
Ticket? Well, you gotta have a ticket, Danny, to see a movie, and have I got just the one? See, when I was about your age, Harry Houdini played this theater, and my pop took me backstage to see him after the show. And he made a gesture, Houdini did, like this. And all of a sudden, this was in his hand. And he said to me, he whispered, he said, this is a magic ticket. It was given to me by the best magician in India, and it was given to him by the best magician in Tibet. It's a passport to another world. It was mine, and now it's yours.
So after Nick tells him that this ticket is a ticket to another world, he starts playing Jack Slater 4. And Danny is enjoying the movie, and it's very 90s. It's very much exactly what you would expect from an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, a John McTiernan Arnold Schwarzenegger movie at that. And one thing leads to another in this movie where a massive bundle of dynamite comes flying out of the screen. And Danny's looking around like, what the hell is going on here? And Nick is not responding to him, so he starts to run away from this dynamite. The dynamite ignites, blowing this movie theater up and sending Danny into the movie of Jack Slater 4. He wakes up in the backseat of Jack Slater's convertible. Jack Slater's like, who the hell are you? Like, where did you come from? All the while in Jack Slater 4, Jack Slater is trying to take down these drug dealers who have also just killed his cousin. Danny is now along for the ride, while Jack Slater and now Danny, who is a movie buff and a Jack Slater buff, is really walking Jack Slater through the ins and outs of how he can actually solve the crime of not only his cousin's murder, but take down these drug dealers. Now, the drug dealer, the main head honcho in this movie, played by Charles Dance. If you don't know him by name, He was Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones.
He's also the doctor in Alien 3 that Sigourney Weaver became friends with.
Oh, I do not remember Alien 3 really very much at all.
That is completely okay because it's not great.
Yeah, that's the David Fincher one.
Yeah, but I hear that they're releasing the David Fincher cut, which
I've
definitely
heard
want to
that
see.
myself. I would absolutely watch that. Hell yeah. And Charles Dance has been in a whole bunch of other movies as well. We can talk about him in just a little bit after V, you tell me what you think of the movie. But a little bit more breakdown of this movie. Jack Slater is he's one of those cops, especially in the 90s and in this universe of Jack Slater, that is just kind of everything kind of goes his way, and nothing is really going to hurt him. And another thing that Danny even says halfway through before he gets blown into this movie, he's like, Jack Slater, he's got a little bump on his head and nothing else really. He's going to be fine.
After a house blows up.
Yeah, oh gosh, I love that whole thing. And the two cops get there like, what do you expect? Dancing cops snorting cocaine? Let's go get this guy. Like,
2
there's
days
so many
from
great
retirement.
Yeah, exactly. And the explosions are so over the top, which is exactly what you would expect from a John McTiernan movie about an action movie. But we're also in this universe of Jack Slater, and everybody involved is an elevated character like they would be in a 90s movie. Even a late 80s action comedy like 48 Hours or even Beverly Hills Cop or something like that. And Frank McRae plays Decker, who is the police chief, and every time he screams, the glass shatters. And every time he's trying to figure out what the hell Jack Slater's doing, Jack Slater gets a phone from his ex-wife, who he ultimately puts on a recorded tape of him going, wow, really, and just walks around the station. And inside the station, we are seeing trope after trope of every kind of police officer that you would see in the 90s. We're also introduced to John Practice, played by F. Murray Abraham, and Danny's like, he killed Mozart! And Jack Slater's like, who the hell is Mozart?
Isn't
and if you don't get that,
massive spoiler? Because I haven't seen that movie yet.
It's not really a spoiler because everybody knows what Salieri did. So unless you don't, I guess I just fucking spoiled the movie for you.
I didn't.
Oh, shit. Well, you know what? It does not take away from the fact that that Amadeus is a masterpiece of cinema, and you will watch it for the podcast. It's such a small blip of that movie anyway, so. And of course, Jack Slater, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny knows who Arnold Schwarzenegger is, because in his universe, Danny's universe, Arnold Schwarzenegger is the big, big action star. And in this movie, Jack Slater is the man, but he doesn't know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. He doesn't know who Sylvester Stallone is. But in the movie, they go and see who is actually playing certain roles that Arnold Schwarzenegger would normally be playing in the real world. They're just askewed because of this Jack Slater universe. And I love the blockbuster scene in this movie so very much, because they talk about the trope of 555 phone numbers. Yeah. They talk about how the women are always beautiful and that there's no way that the woman that's working at Blockbuster looks like that. Schwarzenegger at one point is like, oh yeah, you're the star of this next movie called The Girl of My Dreams. And it's just ridiculous. And so while Danny is in the Jack Slater universe, and like I mentioned before, he's giving Slater / Arnold Schwarzenegger the next scenarios that he needs to go to, he brings him to the drug dealers' houses, and he goes, you know what? All these houses are on the wrong side, because all the drug dealers' houses in movies have beach views. And then, of course, what do? They show up at a house with a beach view, and that's where Charles Dance is as one of the drug dealers. Really, for the rest of the movie, we are along for this just meta action movie where everything that you can imagine in a 90s to late 80s action movie would go down. Bridget Wilson Sampras shows up as the beautiful daughter of Jack Slater. Danny O'Brien, Austin O'Brien had a really great scene with her at that age. I'm very jealous of him, especially nowadays. But hey, it's all good. It's a movie. Jack Slater and Danny are just along for this roller coaster ride of trying to bring down these drug dealers inside this movie, and then also figure out a way to get Danny out of the movie back into his real world. And then one thing leads to another, and we're just more mayhem just really kind of goes down. And it's a complete blast of a movie, massively meta, especially for Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1993. He was the hot thing, but his star was really just rising like crazy. Everybody in the movie delivers. There's a couple of cameos that I will talk about because they're magnificent. And V, I know this was a movie that you had never seen before, which still boggles my mind. So I'm curious what you thought of Last Action Hero from 1993.
I'm actually really glad that I saw this as an adult because I got all of the jokes and references.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyone over 30 who has seen action movies from the 90s or 80s needs to watch this film, because if you're a fan of that genre and those decades, you will absolutely get every single joke in this movie, and they are spectacular. I cannot believe how amazing this film is, and I love that I finally saw it. I'm so grateful I finally saw it, because before I was like, oh yeah, there's some annoying kid in it, blah blah, it's an action movie, whatever. Other than that, I had no idea. It's so meta, especially Monty. If you haven't seen this movie yet, you absolutely have to. Holy shit, this movie's so good.
Oh, you're talking about your friend Monty. I'm like, who's Monty in the movie? Okay.
No,
yes,
our friend,
right.
my friend who listens to our podcast.
Yes. Yeah, Monty, check it out, man. It's a great movie.
Just starting with the entrance of him coming in, he's got the snakeskin cowboy boots, and he crushes the radio, and he pushes all the other cops away, and he walks over all the cop cars, and then Tina Turner shows up, which was also amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish she'd been in the movie more.
She was the mayor.
The action tropes in this film really are hit on the head without beating a dead horse about it. I really like how they just reference everyone. The car chases, especially the one in the beginning in the movie, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
And then later on, there's a game of chicken, and Danny says how in the it only works in the movies. You'd kill yourself if we weren't in a movie right now, and that's hilarious too, because it's so true. It's like in all the Fast and Furious movies, all of those characters would be dead multiple times over with all the shit that they put their bodies through. And that's true for most action movies. And I think that's one of the worst lessons from action movies that people take is action movies make you think that our body is a lot more resilient than it actually is.
Yeah.
I think,
and that nobody as a bystander doesn't die.
Right? Again, it's so meta. There's a reference to him saying, "I'll be back." And so once Danny meets him and starts talking about him, he literally says, "Hey, you're Arnold Schwarzenegger." Like, that is how meta this movie is, and it's great. It's not too much. They did it so well. One of my favorite scenes of the whole film was when they walk into that Blockbuster. Yes, those conversations are great. But he walks to the action section over to T2 Judgment Day, and there's this huge cardboard cutout, and it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger on it.
Nope. Yeah, and I was like, you haven't seen that? He's the best. Like, he's just...
And that's the thing that made me realize is that Arnold has a great sense of humor, because there are other 80s and 90s action stars who take themselves way too seriously who never would have picked up this script.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so it actually made me respect Arnold a bit more watching this film, because I was like, oh man, he can make fun of himself. This is great.
Yeah.
Every cameo was awesome, especially towards the end of this movie. I was like, holy shit, they got everybody in here.
Yeah, they got everybody.
You didn't mention, the one person you didn't mention that I did want to is the other drug dealer being Anthony Quinn, which is awesome.
Oh, yes.
I think my other favorite scene in the movie, or my other favorite joke of the movie, is when they go to his apartment, which is bare, because he's this hardened cop who's got an ex-wife, or a couple ex-wives, right? Of course he doesn't have a nice apartment, and it's completely bare, but he walks in and he shoots the closet, and he opens it, and a bad guy falls out, and Danny's like, how'd you know he was in there? And Arnold goes, there's always a guy in there.
Always a guy in there.
Just perfect. Yeah, this movie's hilarious. I'm so glad I watched it. Like I said, I think it's better now that I've seen it when I'm older. After 25 or 30 was really when I would have gotten all of these jokes and appreciated it for what it is, which is great. And the last thing I want to say is, yes, John McTiernan, awesome director. He's directed a ton of movies that I love, that we have talked about, more that I will pick in the future. So yes, I've always been a big fan of his. And I love that they reference Die Hard. And Danny says, oh, like in Die Hard. And then the Die Hard theme plays for about 15 seconds. It's great. I'm like, oh yeah, because it's John's movie. He could completely use that theme again. So yes, the big thumbs up. Really had a wonderful time. I was... At first, I wasn't sure, because this movie's over 2 hours long. So when I started it, I was like, oh shit. And in reality, this is a multi-layered story. They use up their time wisely. I loved it so much. I definitely think a lot of our friends who are the same age, or people who do love and have seen many 80s and 90s action movies, I think Henry would really like it, my brother-in-law. There's a lot of people in my life that I would recommend this movie to now that I've seen it.
Sweet. Glad to hear it. Glad you enjoyed it. I had a feeling you would, but, again, at the same time, you never know.
I know. Even though we're as good of friends as we are, we still aren't always sure.
Still not sure. Yep. Well, good. I'm glad. Like I said, I got the Steelbook 4K, I think a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, and I've watched it so many times because there's so much that goes on in that 2 hours and 10 minutes that even now I'm still like, oh shit, like remembering things and picking up on other stuff. And I love the whole sequence at Jack Slater's house with his daughter and the whole action sequence that goes down there and the way that the house blows up. It's just out of control, ridiculously awesome, fun stuff.
There is one right after that. You were talking about explosions. There is a scene right after them being in the house where he's far away, or there's a really, really huge wide shot of LA and then an explosion. And it's so good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. It's great. It's just full of eye candy and great action, and the cast is great. Charles Dance does a great job. Charles Dance has been quoted, and I got, if I can find a picture of this, I would absolutely love to. Charles Dance was not the first person considered for Benedict, actually. Tim Curry was considered, of course, because it's the early 90s, and Tim Curry would have been badass. And there was another actor in a movie that John McTiernan directed, Die Hard. Alan Rickman was considered for the role of Benedict. Benedict ultimately went to Charles Dance because Alan Rickman could not agree on the salary of the movie. So Charles Dance, on not every day, but a couple of days on set, wore a shirt with a photo of Alan Rickman that said, "I'm cheaper than Alan Rickman." And Alan Rickman had not done that much by then.
No, he had not at all.
So he had the balls to turn down John McTiernan to do this movie. But hey, you know what? It's all good. I love Charles Dance, and I love the whole eyeball gag. The eyeball gags were fantastic in this movie.
Well, this was after Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, so Alan Rickman
that's
had
right.
started
Okay.
to be able to negotiate stuff.
That's true. That's a solid point. I forgot about that one.
One of the few.
That's a great movie.
You know what's funny is that it's a guilty pleasure of mine because I know it's not awesome. It's not.
See, I remember it being. I haven't seen it in probably over 30 years.
But
so
that's
it
the
might
problem
be
because I
absolutely
loved it
terrible
as
now.
a kid. I loved it as
me
a kid.
too.
I thought it was high art. It was in England, and there's all these great actors. Oh my gosh.
Kevin Costner actually emoted for a second or two.
Yeah, Mary Stuart Master Antonio was great, and Alan Rickman was terrifying. So I think we need to rewatch that film and decide.
Maybe we do. Yeah.
I've
Next
been
time we
meaning
hang
to.
out, we should just pull that one out and watch it.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I went Canadian for a second. Pull that one
Yeah,
out.
I
don't know
saw-
where
I heard that.
fucking
I was
came
impressed.
from. Yeah, that was weird.
No, I
I'm not
like it.
Canadian people. I am
like
from
it.
America. All right, cool. Arnold Schwarzenegger loved this script so much. He had a little bit of doctoring done. One of the script doctors was William Goldman.
Nice.
And the reason why he was approached, William Goldman was approached by Arnold Schwarzenegger, was because Schwarzenegger wanted some of the characters a little bit more hashed out and to give them a little bit more of a backstory. Another script doctor on the movie was Carrie Fisher.
Of course. She's a great script doctor.
Super interesting. I had no idea that she doctored scripts. Of course, why wouldn't she? But
Wait,
when I
we
read
just
that,
talked about in the Star Wars episode how much she wrote in Hollywood.
I know again. I black out when we record, so
Oh my god!
I truly don't remember that conversation.
I love that now moving forward, I can remember that all my jokes will sound brand new to you.
That they pretty much do. Yeah. Not all of them, because not all of them are great. And same with mine. Some of mine are terrible. Going back to the script doctoring, Carrie Fisher was another one. And Schwarzenegger was really impressed with the script doctoring. And not only that, but he was so excited to get this movie out there because he was like, this is going to appeal to a comedic audience. It's going to appeal to an action audience. And then it didn't do so well. It still did well. We'll talk about the box office in a little bit. But he said that with his excitement about the comedy and the action appealing to both sides of the spectrum there, he felt that maybe it was going to cater a little bit too much to both sides. And he felt like that's why it didn't do so well. But it really didn't do so well because it was released right around the time the greatest movie ever made was released. Jurassic Park had recently just come out as well.
Bummer. Yeah, I was really hoping that it done well, but I remember hearing a lot of people...
It did do well. We'll talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like I began this episode with, I feel like Last Action Hero is one of the few Schwarzenegger movies that nobody talks about. It's
agree.
either Terminator, Terminator 2, True Lies, and then you go from there, like Eraser, like we just discussed. Nobody even really talks about The Sixth Day. So I feel like Sixth Day and Last Action Hero are the two Schwarzenegger movies from the last 35, 40 years that are really under the radar type movies. And I hope that when we did Eraser and Sixth Day, people went back to revisit or at least see The Sixth Day the first time. And I hope that this happens with this movie too.
I do too. And remember that True Lies was released the year after this. And I like that it is yet another example of Arnold Schwarzenegger not taking himself too seriously, doing well in comedies, having good comedic timing, just us talking about Jason Statham needing to do more comedies, right? I think it's in the same vein.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you mentioned that 2 days to retirement after the house explodes. That is a nod to Lethal Weapon,
Of
Danny
course.
Glover.
Yes.
Too old for this shit. I haven't seen Lethal Weapon, the first one, in so many years.
It's on my Christmas list in the
great.
future, especially because
All
it's
right.
written by Shane Black, so no worries.
Oh, sweet. Now, we've been talking about cameos. There's 2 cameos in this movie that go from... that's another movie that Schwarzenegger also had. He had Total Recall, which he starred in with Sharon Stone, and apparently on the project of Total Recall, he and Sharon Stone didn't really get along very well. However, he gave her a cameo in this movie, and she agreed to do it because she felt that Schwarzenegger, in the process of doing Total Recall, really helped elevate her career in the early 90s.
That's great, and it's too bad they...
Yeah.
I mean, oh God, she's so good in Total Recall, though.
Oh, yeah, she's so awesome. And then there's another cameo, several others, of course, but this other one, Terminator 2, Robert Patrick, the T-1000, shows up in this movie for a very brief moment. Honestly, if you blink, you'll miss it. Like, if you see Sharon Stone and you blink, you're going to miss Robert Patrick. It's that fast, but it's a great nod to Terminator 2, and I love how Danny sees both of them, especially the T-1000, goes, "Did you see that?" And Schwarzenegger's like, What are you talking about? It's a police station. People are coming and going. It's fucking great. Cracks me. That's my terrible Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, it's not one of your best, I will say. Not one of your worst either, though.
Plenty of terrible ones. Zach Penn originally wanted to call this movie extremely violent, but when Shane Black got involved and William Goldman got involved, especially Carrie Fisher, they figured Last Action Hero would be a good culmination of everything that Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of stood for at the time.
Yeah, I think that's a much better title.
There's also a really great moment when Danny is actually in school discussing Shakespeare, where his teacher talks about Hamlet, and they decide to watch the Laurence Olivier version of Hamlet. And who shows up but Arnold Schwarzenegger smoking a fucking cigar? The production of this movie was pretty intense, as I'm sure you can see, V, and our audience could see as well. I don't have a whole lot of information on how long the production was. Suffice to say, there was a full week of production where they shut down Times Square from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. for 7 days. And I'm sure you remember the big, huge blow-up of Arnold Schwarzenegger because there was a premiere of another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie in this movie, which it gets even more meta at that point. I feel like this movie was probably shot over the course of at least 2.5 to 3 months, just with all the special effects
100%.
and practical locations and everything like that, because they start in L.A., and then the body count in this movie is 83, in case anybody's wondering.
I've seen bigger numbers.
Definitely, yeah. And there's a great moment in this movie. There is a specific moment where Danny is trying to get Jack Slater / Arnold Schwarzenegger to say a word. But Arnold will not say that word. Danny writes that word down. And he says, "You can't say this word because we're in a PG-13 movie." I love that moment so much because it's so true. Back in the day, there might have been one of those words in a PG-13 movie. However, majority of the time between like 1980 all the way up to pretty much like 1997, if you said fuck, you're going to get an R rating.
Mm-hmm.
So they really play on it very, very brilliantly in Last Action Hero, I thought anyway.
This is why our podcast has an R rating, because you say the F word all the time.
I know a lot of people seem to not care for that kind of language, but I don't care.
Including me.
Yeah, well, you say it, and you know what's funny is you actually had a mouth on you the first couple of months on this podcast.
I say it a lot when I'm nervous, so yes. The first couple of months of our podcast, I said it a lot. Because... Gotcha.
But
now I don't.
All right. This was one of Stanley Kubrick's favorite movies that he ever saw.
Amazing.
That's pretty great. This film came out on June 18th of 1993. Look at that. Almost to the day when this episode comes out. Now, this is June 10th because this episode is dropping on V's birthday, but we're close.
Yep.
V, what do you think the budget for Last Action Hero was? 1993.
$60 million.
Very close. You're off by $25 million, though. It was an $85 million budget.
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
Because my first guess was going to be 80, and then you're like, well, it came out in 93. I was like, yeah, that's way too high. Because I was thinking of all the explosions and all the cameos and all the locations and everything.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all.
No, definitely not. Domestically, it didn't even bring in that much. It brought in $50 million. Very sad.
Oh,
but again,
that sucks.
Jurassic Park was also out very, very recently around the same time. The worldwide box office for Last Action Hero, though, was $137.2 million. not wonderful, but not terrible either. It still did okay, but everybody involved, including Schwarzenegger and McTiernan, were a little bit upset. But, that's kind of what happens when you go against the greatest movie ever made.
I would say that's a meager box office.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad.
There you go.
The funny thing is, I wonder if in the 2000s, the jokes are more prevalent or more relevant because the people who saw tons of 80s and 90s action movies can not only take those jokes, but also understand those jokes, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Either way, though, we love it, and I know a lot of other people that do love it as well. It's a friend of mine, he never stops talking about this movie, and his name's
Really?
Justin. He and I have known each other for several years. He is I think this is his favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, if not favorite movie. That is The Last Action Hero. If you've not seen it, highly, highly recommend it. It is not streaming anywhere, but you can rent it on Amazon Prime. Like I said, I watched my Steelbook 4K copy, and I'm so glad to have it in my collection. The transfer's great. The action's a blast. Even the villain in the Jack Slater movies is such a creepy-looking dude. And
He is. Tom Doonan also played a pedophile in an episode of The X-Files that scared the ever-loving shit out of me when I was a teenager. He's such a good, creepy character. He plays them so well.
Yeah, he's pretty damn good. So that's our action comedy episode here at MYM, Movies You Missed podcast, for episode 214. V, would you watch Spy with your grandmother?
I've seen it with my dad and my sister Shannon, and I think Suzanne too. I maybe saw it with my mom once. I know she likes the movie. I don't think I'd see it with my grandma, only because there are a couple of short, raunchy scenes.
Yeah.
And I will say there is pictures of a male full frontal. However, it's all a prosthetic, and Paul Feig had to bring the prosthetic to the MPAA in order to get approval for Spy. Yeah, that was another piece of trivia.
That's pretty wild.
So yeah, I think 16 and above could totally watch this film, and it just depends on who you think would find it funny, I think is the most important thing.
Agreed indeed.
Other than that, just pictures of full frontal. There's some action, there's no blood.
No, there's
really.
not.
So yeah, it's a pretty tame spy movie, that's for sure.
I agree.
And would you watch The Last Action Hero with your grandma?
I probably would have. She might have enjoyed it. I know she liked Terminator 2 a lot, so possibly. Schwarzenegger was a big thing back then.
Yeah.
Good deal. Now, next week is going to be a pretty fun week. We're going to be going into space again, because we love space movies here. V, why don't you tell everybody what you are choosing for next week?
Well, to continue my birthday celebration, I picked one of my all-time favorite movies, which also stars one of my all-time favorite action stars, because I picked the Tom Cruise movie Oblivion.
Yeah.
Super underrated film.
I have not seen Oblivion in a handful of years. I remember really liking it, though, especially that soundtrack.
The score and soundtrack are incredible, so is the cinematography and the locations that they shot at. Love this film. Can't wait to talk about it on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
And what space movie will you be choosing?
I'm choosing a remake, although I've not seen the original 3-hour version of this movie, but I remember seeing this version of it with my father in theaters, and this movie stars George Clooney, Natasha McKellen, Viola Davis, and Jeremy Davies. This is directed by Steven Soderbergh. This is a film titled Solaris, and if you have not seen it, it's a wild one. And is currently not streaming on any service, but you can rent it on Amazon or Apple for $3.99. I will definitely watch my DVD copy, and I'm really hoping that one day we'll get a 4K transfer of it, because there are some visuals in this movie that are fantastic.
Never saw it.
Oh, well, all right. I'm very interested to see what you will think of Solaris.
I know George Clooney's in it. I remember seeing the trailer, and the woman who's in it is also in Ronin. I remember the trailer seeming kind of creepy, and I know my dad...
that's right.
Okay, so I know my dad owns the film, and I think he's a fan of it, since he owns it. But yeah,
sweet.
Never saw it.
All right, well, that'll be an interesting discussion when we get to it.
Yes.
That wraps us up here for this new episode of Movies You Missed podcast. Please do rate, review, subscribe, follow along on all social media. If you do leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, you will be thrown into the viewer-requested episode hat. So get on that if you guys want to throw us a movie or two that we have not yet talked about. And with that, we will close out this episode with film is a form of art, and in art, all opinions are valid, except if you think...
action comedies aren't the greatest genre.
They're certainly one of them. I do love me some action comedies.
Thanks for doing this topic this week. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
And I'm excited for next week, too.
As am I. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers, everybody.
Bye-bye.